Today we'll take a look at a digital comic, and this time it's the Queen of Vampires. Originally in 7 different issues, as you can see here, but it's also available in one big digital comic book. So I'm trying to review this without spoilers. I have to warn you though, there's a lot of gore and also nudity in this comic, but it's also very cool. So let's dig into the first pages of the first issue. We get some introduction here and some cover art, and then we are on the first pages, following some slaves who are led to the castle of the undying Queen of Vampires, Arkhalla. And already here we get a taste of the Queen's ruthless rule. Of course, she needs blood because she's a vampire, and the slaves here are led to feed her. So here we are inside the throne room, and we get to see the Queen, Arkhalla, for the first time. In my opinion, the drawings here of the comics are very cool. I like the style, I like the colors, and I like the way this comic is built up on the different pages. I know it's a matter of personal taste, of course, but I think, in my opinion, this comic looks very good. So the slaves here are sacrificed, but suddenly the queen stops. She has to drink, and one of the slaves are spared. And here we have another of the main characters, the human slave here, and we are going to learn a lot about him through the 7 different issues. Of course, we also learn a lot about the queen herself. We find out that, in contrary to the rest of the vampires, she's able to withstand the sun, so she can rule and conquer in the sun and also at night. So while the slave we first met is here in the dungeon, the queen herself had to make examples to keep things in order within her own ranks. And of course, by that, she also makes enemies. We also learn that the queen herself has a very rough and troubled past that nobody else actually knows. So as the story unfolds, we get to learn a lot about the queen, and she changes from being this ruthless bitch of a queen to actually be a deeper character that you learn to care about. And that is also the case for the slave. He despises the queen to begin with, but by spending time with her and talking with her, he also learns that the queen is a deeper person, and he begins to respect her more. So at one point in the story where the queen is in the middle of a battle and threatened on her life, the slave, whose name is Shamat, has to make a choice whether he will save the queen or not. So now I think I'll stop talking about the comic and advise you to read it yourself. I highly recommend it, but for now I'll leave you with the details about my opinion. Well, I know it might be difficult to get an impression of a digital comic on a review like this, but I have to say that this is one of the best comics that I have read recently, or maybe even ever. It has all the aspects I like: action, romance, good drawings, just about everything. So I highly recommend to check out The Queen of Vampires. Thanks a lot for watching this review. Leave a comment or subscribe if you'd like to see more.